What's happening, everybody? This is Roy from the Filth, and you are watching CMS TV.
All right. Well, you brought it up, and we'll wrap this up about the whole eating the Mars bar.
Okay. Yeah. You told me the story.
Can you find anything on that? Because I think actually Mikey sent me like a link on that, but it must be out there because he sent it to me earlier. Something about eating a Mars bar.
By 1966, Keith Richards had purchased Redlands, a tranquil estate in Sussex, England, for £20,000. It was a peaceful retreat until it became the setting for one of the most scandalous drug busts of the 60s. What began as a day of acid-fueled relaxation turned into an infamous moment in rock history, complete with a media frenzy, drug charges, and a bizarre rumor that still whispered about decades later.
Whisper.
In February 1967, Richards, Mick Jagger, and Marianne Faithfull were unwinding at Redlands after a day-long acid trip when their peace was shattered. Richards recalled hearing a knock at the door. Still under the influence of LSD, he peeked out the window to see a whole lot of dwarves, as he described the 20 police officers who had swarmed his property. The raid had been tipped off by a tabloid, which in turn had been informed by Richards' own driver, a betrayal the guitarist didn't forgive lightly.
Ooh.
He never walked the same again, Richards quipped years later. What the officers found inside wasn't the sordid scene they might have hoped for. Richards politely opened the door to what Marianne Faithfull would later describe as a scene of pure domesticity. But that didn't stop the police from arresting Richards and Jagger on drug charges, along with a few other guests. And then came the rumors. Among the wildest was the suggestion that police had interrupted a wild orgy involving Jagger licking a Mars bar inserted into Faithfull's body.
Inserted into her body?
Oh my God. Again, it's on YouTube, so they can't just say her fucking snapper had a Mars bar in it.
Right.
Inserted into her body.
Right. Not, it could have been like in her mouth for all we know.
Yeah. They can't say into her vaginal cavity.
In her snatch.
Yeah. It was just covered with fucking melted chocolate and cum.
Okay.
Yuck.
All right.
See, Wretch has it right. Her ear cavity, clearly.
Right, of course.
That's what I was thinking.
That's interesting that Mick Jagger is wearing like a traditional, necktie with a
ruffled shirt.
With a ruffly shirt. What the hell's that look?
Well, they were the guys at the time. They were probably trying to break that look or something.
Yes.
What's funny is you see them here. They're both stoned out of their mind in this picture.
Isn't it funny though? 60 years ago, you would not expect these guys to be running out on a runway out into an audience at 80 years old.
Or being alive.
Exactly.
I can't believe that they're... Look, the stage thing is bizarre by itself, but just being alive is amazing with this. They've had what, two originals die?
Yeah.
Wyman and Wood?
No, Ronnie Wood's still with them.
Or who's the drummer? Charlie Watt, sorry.
Yeah, Charlie Watt. He's the only one who's dead.
And Bill Wyman's dead.
Oh, no. Mick Jones, or the original guitarist, the other guitarist.
I don't know anything about Stones.
Two of the original Stones are dead.
Yeah, I'm not a big Stones guy, but
all right.
Well, do you want to hear more of this?
Yeah, go ahead. There's only
Only a minute.
Yeah, a minute left.
All right, here we go.
story caught fire in the tabloids, becoming one of the most notorious urban legends in rock history. However, Richards and Faithfull both dismissed the story as pure fabrication. How the Mars bar got into the story, I don't know, Richards later said. It shows you what's in people's minds.
If this was today, there'd be commercials. Hey, I'm Mick Jagger for Mars Bar. I love a good Mars bar. I love it.
If you want to eat a Mars bar out of a snatch, Marianne Faithfull is like the top of the line.
I like a Mars bar, and sometimes it needs a little extra nougat, and I know where to get it. You know what I'm saying? Buy a Mars bar.
Right.
I could totally see that. If it happened today, he would do commercials.
Sure, why not? Got to capitalize on that shit.
Hell yeah. All right, here we go.
Though the Mars bar myth dominated headlines, the reality was less salacious but no less dramatic. Richards and Jagger were convicted on drug charges and briefly sentenced to prison, though their sentences were eventually overturned on appeal. The trial solidified the Rolling Stones' rebellious image and marked a pivotal moment in the band's career, highlighting their defiance against societal norms and authority. The Redlands raid remains one of the most talked about incidents in Richards' storied life, a mix of chaos, betrayal, and cultural rebellion that epitomized the Rolling Stones' outlaw ethos. While the Mars bar myth may be nothing more than an absurd fabrication, it's a testament to the wild, untamed legacy that surrounds Richards and the band to this day.
And you know what's crazy about that? That myth came out in the 60s when you just did not talk about this kind of stuff.
And there was no internet.
And there was no internet too, yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what your grandmother would have thought if they heard that your mother was listening to Rolling Stones and heard some story about a Mars bar being eaten?
This is why, you know, when you and I both grew up in the 70s, that rock and roll was so taboo.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're listening to those devil worshippers.
They eat candy from pussy, for God's sakes.
Yeah, he was eating a candy bar from her snatch.
Yeah. Don't listen to that in my home.
Of course, you wouldn't say that. It was like her private parts or her. Would they actually say vagina?
No.
If they say vagina, of course, that would be taboo.
I don't know that they would have said private parts in those days. They would have probably said something like, she put a candy bar in a bad place.
A bad place. There you go. Bad word.
That's what they would have said back then. In a bad place.
Welcome to the ultimate experience for hard rock and heavy metal fans. Introducing the CMS Locals VIP app, your #1 destination for all things on the CMS network. Dive into the classic metal show, Chris Akin Presents, Seth Williams Show, and more, all in one place. It's free to get started or elevate your experience with a subscription for just $4.99 a month. Go commercial-free, get advanced releases, and enjoy exclusive bonus episodes. Plus, it's the prime spot to chat with like-minded fans who love raw, uncensored commentary. Are you ready to rock? Download from your iOS or Android store, search for the CMS network, and join the community now. It's free, it's easy, and it's the best way to keep our shows with you every single day. Install the Locals.com app today and follow the CMS network.